Our patience has been rewarded, ladies and gentlemen. FSL has just announced the yearly Trailblazer Airdrop. Now, it's not called Trailblazer every year necessarily, it was last year, but in case you haven't heard of this, every year so far, FSL, the makers of STEPN, have been airdropping essentially free money to their loyal community. The idea is to reward the most loyal and active members of the STEPN and now STEPN Go community. Every year the eligibility does evolve a bit. So who is eligible this year? Well, here's the three main criteria. Number one, you've got an eligible STEPN badge in your spending account. So I believe that was, so from memory, that played a part in whether or not you got an airdrop last year. So if I go to my badges, let's see what I have. So things like account level, whether I hold a Genesis, and we'll talk about Genesis soon because that is its own separate criteria. Maybe how many people you've referred to STEPN. I know I've referred, I think, several hundred people to the app now. Exercise achievement, right? So how far you've moved. I've done something like 7,000 kilometers in STEPN OG, so that certainly I would expect that to play a part. And then maybe certain achievements you've made with different types of sneakers, walkers, joggers, runners, trainers, how much energy you've burnt. So some of these badges here certainly I expect to play a part in contributing to me getting an airdrop. It is a measurement of how much I've participated in the STEPN community, how much exercise and benefits I've gotten out of the app. Right, it satisfies the ethos that the airdrop is meant to reward the most loyal and active members of the community. All right, so that's criteria number one, badges. Right, no surprises there, I think. Number two, these yearly airdrops have always been a way to reward people who own Genesis sneakers. I mean, this really is probably the main reason people hold these expensive sneakers, which costs multiple times more than ordinary sneakers. Genesis sneakers generally cost more than $1,000, between $1,000 to $2,000 or more. These are very rare sneakers and people hold on to them with the expectation that these will be rewarded across the FSL ecosystem, but in particular during these yearly airdrops. So of course I'm quite happy about this. I own something around 7 Genesis sneakers, all of which I use my hard-earned money to buy myself. Now, one thing to be aware of, this was announced during the town hall with Yawn and Shitty, is that for STEPN OG, you needed to have held your Genesis sneaker, your STEPN OG Genesis sneaker, for at least 12 months. And for STEPN Go, you needed to have held your Genesis sneaker for 6 months or more. So I have something like 5 or 6 Genesis sneakers in STEPN Go. Only half of them have been in my spending wallet for more than 6 months. So out of my 5 to 6 Genesis sneakers, half of them satisfy this criteria and half of them does not satisfy the criteria of having needed to hold onto these sneakers for more than 6 months. And I imagine, and I could be wrong because some of the details underpinning this criteria has not been released just yet. It will be very soon. What I don't know is whether you're going to get an airdrop for every Genesis sneaker that you hold. That's usually what happens, right? So the more Genesis sneakers that you hold in your spending wallet, the more GMT or FSL points, which you can convert to GMT, you'll be eligible for. So in summary, for me, I've got 5 to 6 Genesis sneakers. Half of them is not going to help me get an airdrop this time around, but you know, my goal is to hold on to these Genesis sneakers long term, so they should be eligible for an airdrop next year if there is another airdrop next year, but half of them will get me something this year. Okay, so that's Genesis sneakers, and then the third criteria is, and this is the interesting one, this is the new one, is it's based on your activity and achievements on the STEPN OG leaderboard. So if I go to the leaderboard, and this one, I'm actually quite lucky. So if I go to all time, my current position is 4,215. So if you got into the top 5,000 position on the leaderboard at the time that the snapshot was taken for the airdrop, which was 1 week ago on July the 17th, 7 a.m. UTC. I think, yeah, I'm 99% sure that I was within the top 5,000, but for the longest time since the leaderboard was released, I had been struggling to crack the top 5,000 rank. And the only reason I wanted to crack the top 5,000 rank was, it's kind of meme worthy, which is when you're outside of the top 5,000, your position was shown as this kind of cold, patronizing 5,000 plus position. You didn't actually know which position you were in. All you knew was that you were outside of the top 5,000. And this kind of annoyed me a little bit. I wanted to know my exact position, so I made it a mission to work really hard. I got a new level 7 resilience gem. I made a video on that recently to help me move up the STEPN leaderboard, because that plays a part as well. So this was one of these things where I was really gunning to get inside the top 5,000, really for an emotional reason. It wasn't a rational reason, because there were no rewards promised at the time. But I got in, and thankfully looked like I had got in just in the nick of time for this snapshot, which is now going to earn me some sort of airdrop allocation. Cool. So let's quickly go through some of the things that we don't know. So firstly, this seems to be a very much a STEPN focused airdrop. There has been some questions across the community on whether and what sort of activities across other FSL apps, such as Gas Hero, 2184 and so on, that might earn you an allocation. So I don't have any answer to provide on that at the moment. Another thing is which exact badges helps you get an airdrop. Again, I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. And if we don't find out, last year there were some pretty crafty people in the community that actually worked out which badges played a part. Very interesting. And then finally, this is probably the biggest question, which is how much airdrop. So how much GMT are you going to get? How many FSL points are you going to get? And just to clarify, for STEPN OG, you're going to get an FSL points allocation, which I believe you have to claim for. If you are a STEPN Go user, you don't have to do anything at all. You're going to get a GMT, literally a GMT airdrop. It should be airdropped straight into your spending wallet, which you can then use to buy shoes, buy gems, you can cash out, whatever you want to do. So yeah, very exciting stuff. The community has been, the chorus of voices has been ramping up across the community, asking about when is the Trailblazer coming this year, and hey, it was announced at the town hall this week, which I think made a good number of people happy. Okay, so once the airdrop actually lands and we get more details about how much we actually got airdropped, more details about the criteria, I will make a follow-up video. Until then, have a good one. I hope if you're watching this, you managed to get some sort of an allocation. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.